Hey, 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 happy Monday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the Grand Poobah. Yes, I am the founder and editor-in-chief of The Gaming Gang. Tonight is Monday, June 8th, 2020. This is episode 497 of The Daily Dope. So welcome aboard. If this is your first time joining me, let me point out, it's a very, very casual show, just hanging out, talking mainly about tabletop gaming. It is certainly not rocket surgery by any stretch of the imagination, just kind of hanging out, having some fun, and sharing the latest in gaming news. So I do want to point out that if you do happen to like this video, by all means, don't forget, give it a thumbs up. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't. If you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that little bell. It will notify you not only of when the Daily Dope streams live Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube. It'll also let you know when I upload standalone videos as well, such as my reviews and first looks and page throughs and interviews and so on and so forth. So brand new week, kicking off a brand new week. I've been busy, working on a bunch of different stuff. I've got a few different things cooking. Got some irons and some fires, I guess we will say. But do I also want to mention that when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com because we're celebrating our 10th year of covering tabletop games. Wow, just crazy. 10 years already. Jeez, I was old when I started this. Also want to mention, because this is a live stream on YouTube, that also means chat is available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But I do my best to pay attention to chat. So if you'd like to say howdy, or maybe you've got a question or a comment, by all means, chime in and I will do my best to respond. So far we've got Dan from No Enemies here and the Madman in chat with us so far tonight. So got a good mix of news tonight. We got a few things cooking as well. Once again, remember, Thursday marks the 500th episode of The Daily Dope, and I will be sharing a bit of a behind-the-scenes look at the Duct Tape Studios, as well as doing kind of an AMA, a little Q&A. Anybody wants to throw any questions about, how I got started doing this, or the equipment I use, or what some of my favorite games are, least favorite games, whatever you'd like, fire away. We're going to have some fun with episode 500. So something that is in the mix here, you might notice I have a new arm for the microphone because I had that little swing boom. Just didn't care for it. Didn't like it. So now I've got one of these clamping arms that, hang on to the desk here. So we're giving that a try. But do want to mention, I have a new microphone on its way. I finally gave in and am replacing this microphone with a Shure SM7B, which is a pretty pricey microphone. It's a broadcast microphone. One of the things that that microphone does that this one does not is, or I should say maybe that the Shure microphone doesn't do that this one does, is this really accentuates some of the higher frequencies. So I have I've got a lot of syllables in my voice, the with the S's. And this really boosts that up. And I play around. I've tried de-essing it, and it just, whereas the Shure SM7B is supposed to be much flatter on the higher end. That's why, like I said, it's more a broadcast microphone. So that is going to arrive on Wednesday. So I don't know if we'll get to check it out on Wednesday, but I guess we'll be listening to it on Thursday for episode 500, maybe? I don't know. Plus, something else that I did notice, that the color of the videos has been off. It's been like very yellowish, I guess. And I did not notice that because on my end, I didn't see it. Very strange. So the color balance should be a bit, well, you should be able to notice it. You should be able to notice it now, as opposed to the other videos. So it should be a much more natural color, I guess. So, because sometimes my face looks really washed out, and even I notice that, and it's like, wow, I don't look like that at all. Sort of like, or it's like really dark, and it's like, no, my skin's not like that either. My skin's not necessarily the greatest. It's not like, I'm not like, like worried about my beauty or anything like that. But yeah, so hopefully everything should be looking good. And we will have some new audio output this week. So, and then of course, after episode 500, I am taking a week off, and I will be returning towards the end of June. So, but I'm not going to be doing nothing during that week off. I'm actually going to be shooting a lot of video, because I've got some stuff that we're finally doing some gaming over by my brother's house. We haven't done that in months. So it's been very difficult for me to do reviews on multiple player games. So, all right. So let me grab a quick sip here. Hopefully everybody had a wonderful weekend. Boy, just still crazy stuff going on, but I think it's time for some change. I really do, in many ways. But we're not going to talk about that, because we're going to jump on into the latest news. Because first off, now available from Eagle-Gryphon Games, is On Mars. And I've got the dope on this rather heavy Euro game. Following the success of unmanned rover missions, the United Nations established the Department of Operations and Mars Exploration, DOOM. The first settlers arrived on Mars in the year 2037, and in the decades after, established Mars Base Camp. Private exploration companies began work on the creation of a self-sustaining colony. As chief astronaut for one of these enterprises, you want to be a pioneer in the development of the biggest, most advanced colony on Mars by achieving both DOOM mission goals as well as your company's private agenda. In the beginning, you will be dependent on supplies from Earth and will have to travel often between the Mars space station and the planet's surface. As the colony expands over time, you will shift your activities to construct mines, power generators, water extractors, greenhouses, oxygen factories, and shelters. Your goal is to develop a self-sustaining colony independent of any terrestrial organization. This will feature understanding the importance of water, air, power, and food, the necessities for survival. Do you dare take part in humankind's biggest challenge? On Mars is placed... On Mars is played over several rounds, each consisting of two phases, the colonization phase and the shuttle phase. During the colonization phase, each player takes a turn in doing what they will do, taking actions. The available actions depend on the side of the board they are on. If you're in orbit, you can take blueprints, buy and develop technologies, and take supplies from the warehouse. If you're on the surface of the planet, you can construct buildings with your bots, upgrade these buildings using blueprints, take scientists in new contracts, welcome new ships, and explore the planet's surface with their rover. In the shuttle phase, players may travel between the colony and the space station in orbit. All buildings on Mars have a dependency on each other, and some are required for the colony to grow. On Mars is for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, plays in around 90 to 150 minutes, and does carry an MSRP of $119.99. Gotta say, you had me up until the $119.99. Yes, gotta be honest. This does look really interesting, though. That's the problem. This was successfully kickstarted for Eagle-Gryphon. So kind of cool. And I see that Dan from No Enemies here says, sounds like terraforming Mars. Not quite, because this is more along the lines of just establishing your colony on Mars, whereas terraforming Mars is like way into the future when the colonists are actually terraforming the planet. So jumping into chat here, the Madman mentions that he had a great weekend and his daughter graduated high school and had her 18th birthday. Very good. Congratulations to your daughter. Excellent. A double whammy, graduating high school and birthday 18. So the Madman says $120. Are there real gold coins? Yes, you actually probably mine for real precious minerals from the game box. I don't know. Moving right along. Games Workshop is preparing to release a starter box for their Aeronautica Imperialis. I believe that's how it's pronounced. It's coming next week. I've got the dope. Start playing games of Aeronautica Imperialis in no time with the latest boxed game. You get 2 balanced forces of 5 aircraft, the combined air power of the Imperial Navy and Astra Militarum versus the high-tech aircraft and weaponry of the Tau Aircast. The Skies of Fire starter set contains everything you need to play, including a complete rulebook, tokens, dice, and a fold-out map. It's great for both expanding your existing collection and getting into the game for the first time. The set also includes the Aeronautica Imperialis Skies of Fire rulebook, which contains full game rules, reference pages, and squadron lists. This game also comes with a dogfight scenario and a scenario leaflet with 3 additional missions. The game will carry an MSRP of $90 when it arrives on June 13th. I am absolutely unfamiliar with this fighter game set in the Warhammer 40K universe. I know absolutely nothing about it. I know it's been out for a while. I think it's been out for about 3 years. It's just I'm not very familiar with it. I don't keep up on a lot of the Games Workshop stuff unless it's like related to our friends over at Cubicle 7 Entertainment and their role-playing games. But this does look interesting. I have a soft spot for fighter games, science fiction fighter games. I was a big fanatic with Silent Death way back in the day. Played a lot of that with Elliot, my friend Ed, and some other folks that were friends with us as well. So had a good time with that. This could be kind of cool. 10 miniatures, $90. You get your dice, you get your rule book. Depends on how big these minis are. If these minis are just, like size of a quarter, probably not a great deal. If they're a little bigger than that, might not be too shabby. So I thought this looked kind of cool. So I thought I would share that with you all as well. So let's see. So Dan's talking about Canadians. So $120 is like $1 million Canadian. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that that exchange rates. So Dan and the Madman are talking about Canadians. In Canada, where whatever does whatever, like the old Yakov Smirnov Russia stuff in Russia. Craig Martin is popping in to say hello. Good to see you, Craig. Welcome aboard. Welcome to chat. And Craig says that $120 US is about $200 New Zealand. Yowza. Moving right along, how about a little bit of wargaming news? Now available from GMT Games is Imperial Struggle, and I've got the dope. In 1697, the Sun King, Louis XIV, emerged from a decade of war with his continental ambitions still unsatisfied. Meanwhile, King William III of England sat easier on his new throne than he ever had before. With the Spanish succession crisis unresolved and looming, there were no illusions that the new century would be a quiet one. But neither France nor England could have anticipated the tumult of the years to come. A second 100 Years' War, during which these two tenacious adversaries would compete fiercely and proudly across every axis of human achievement. On battlefields from India to Canada to the Caribbean Sea, their armies and fleets would clash. In the salons of Paris and the coffee houses of London, the modern world's politics and economics would be born. And finally, a revolution would rock the foundations of society. A revolution that could have ended not in blood and terror, but in the triumph of democracy and liberty that might have transformed the world beyond imagining. Imperial Struggle is a two-player game depicting the 18th century rivalry between France and Britain. It begins in 1697 as the two realms wait warily for the King of Spain to name an heir, and ends in 1789 when a new order brought down the Bastille. The game is not merely about war. Both France and Britain must build the foundations of colonial wealth, deal with the other nations of Europe, and compete for glory across the span of human endeavor. Imperial Struggle covers almost 100 years of history and 4 major wars, yet it remains a quick-playing, low-complexity game. It aims to honor its spiritual successor, Twilight Struggle, by pushing further in the direction of simple rules and playable systems, while maintaining global scope and historical sweep in the scope of a single evening. In peace turns, players build their economic interests in alliances and take advantage of historical events represented by event cards. They must choose their investments wisely, but also with an eye to denying those opportunities to their opponent. In war turns, each theater can bring great rewards of conquest and prestige, but territorial gains can disappear at the treaty table. At the end of the century, will the British rule an empire or on which the sun never sets? Or will France light the way for the world as the superpower of the Sun King's dreams or the Republic of Lafayette's? Imperial Struggle is for 2 players, ages 14 and up, plays in around 2 to 4 hours, does carry an MSRP of $59. Do want to point out, it is still showing a P500 price of $39. And I do know for a fact that this game is available. I do know because it arrived today. Ta-da! I am pumped. Yes. I can't wait to crack that open. So I don't know if you can get it right now for $39 still on the GMT site. As I mentioned, it is showing $39 as of earlier today. So I don't know. I don't know if you, I mean, that's a steal. To be honest, I think $59 is a steal. I was wondering if maybe it's a mistake on the website because this is a pretty hefty game. And I don't think Twilight Struggle runs like $59. I thought that's like a $79 game. So I don't know. I have no idea, but I'm excited about this. So I do see that a Gray Day has popped into chat. Good to see you, Gray Day. Welcome aboard. So Craig says, that looks like a game my wife would enjoy and kick my butt in. Got to point out, if when I talk to people and they're kind of like, yeah, I'd love to try Twilight Struggle. And a lot of times they do tell me, they say, oh, you know, my spouse would probably really like that. Or my girlfriend would really like it because it's not really a war game. It does look a little like a war game, but it's not. I always tell them what you might consider doing is taking a look at 1960, the making of a president, which is Nixon versus Kennedy. That is a phenomenal game, and it's very similar in the same lines as Twilight Struggle, where there's that give and take, there's that kind of seesaw battle back and forth, which is really, really entertaining. So I got my hopes up. I really do have my hopes up for this. And unfortunately, I probably won't get to play this for a bit because things are still kind of up in the air, with coronavirus and going over and hanging out at Elliot's house, or Elliot coming over and hanging out as well. So the Madman says, easy rules in 2 to 4 hours. That sounds pretty good, especially at that price point. Yes, like I said, I almost think that maybe it's a mistake on the website. I can't imagine. I mean, $39 right now, if you could still get that. Usually the P500 price disappears once the game starts shipping. So I don't know. I have no idea. So colonial wealth is a tough subject. That is true. That is true. A lot of it is abstracted, of course. One aspect of many of these card-driven games that I always really dig is that you will have these event cards, and you'll learn all these different things about history. Some of them not necessarily politically correct things. But speaking of history, before I jump into my next news piece, I have been watching The Great on Hulu. I'm 6 episodes in. I think there's 10 in the season. And if you don't know, it's the story of Catherine the Great. Kind of. It's about as accurate as an episode of Drunk History, but it's actually really entertaining. Sort of like, yeah, okay. But the accuracy is not anything to. Peter the Third is just kind of a doofus, kind of an asshole, when in reality he was probably mentally incapacitated. So all this different stuff in it. For an example, he's already emperor, but if I remember right, and I'm sure somebody watching knows the history way better than I do, I think Peter was only emperor for like 6 months, less than a year, when the coup took place to overthrow him. But in this, he's like the emperor, and they're just getting married. Catherine and Peter got married. He was not the emperor of Russia. So, like I said, it's about as accurate as Drunk History is, but it's damn entertaining. And Elle Fanning is really good in it. I was very, very surprised. Very, very surprised. So, especially since her sister Dakota was so wooden in The Alienist, which I can't wait for that. That second season. That was a very good show. I had read the books years and years ago, so I knew what was going to happen. But I thought that was very well done. So the Madman says the P500 price is still $39. And Dan from No Enemies here says, you just made me buy it. Damn you, Jeff. Damn you. Yeah. So a great ace says he was emperor. Peter was the third, was emperor for 186 days. He enacted over 200 new laws that made people very unhappy. He pulled out of the war against, wasn't it against the Danes? He pulled them out of some war, and he allied with Prussia, and Prussia was like the ages long enemy of the Russian people. But Peter was actually Prussian. He wasn't really Russian. So yeah, kind of interesting. But like I said, if you have Hulu, check it out. You might get a kick out of it. I will point out that there is a lot of swearing, a lot of F-bombs get dropped, which I'm not so sure that word was very prevalent back in like the 17th century. And a lot of sexual content, but not necessarily a lot of nudity. So Anyway, I'm enjoying it. I'm going to watch a couple episodes of it tonight. So just thought I'd share that. We're talking a little history. You guys are, I wanted to give you guys enough time to, go and make your purchases over on the GMT Games website before I move along. So actually, one thing I should also mention for anybody watching that if my coverage of a game, be it on the Daily Dope, or maybe you do an unboxing or a page through or a review, leads you to make a purchase of that game, it always helps if you let the publisher know. Say, hey, you know what? I saw Jeff's video from the Gaming Gang, and really, that led me to pick up the game. Hopefully, you enjoy the game. It doesn't turn out you're like, what the hell was Jeff thinking? All right, moving right along. We got more news ahead. Now, I already did share this online, but if you are a fan of indie PC games and or tabletop role-playing games, then you really do owe it to yourself to check out the bundle for racial justice and equality. It's over on itch.io. I've got a dope. We live in a time of racial injustice, inequality, and police brutality against Black people. We hope that everyone takes a stand in any way they can. We've partnered with creators from all across our platform to support organizations that are working directly with those affected. We reached out to our community, and an unprecedented number of creators donated over 740 projects to be part of what we believe is the largest bundle ever. All proceeds will be donated to the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund and Community Bail Fund, split 50-50. Just some of the PC games that are included in this mix are Oxenfree, Night in the Woods, A Short Hike, Overland, and tons more. Few of the role-playing games do include Blades in the Dark, Troika, Dragon Hearts, and plenty more. In fact, there's over $3,400 in digital downloads that are available in this bundle for a donation of $5 or more. You heard me correctly. $3,400 in digital downloads available for a donation of $5 or more. It is incredible. And as of, I think it was yesterday morning, I have not taken a peek to see how much they've brought in so far, but as of yesterday morning, they had pulled in over $500,000. And this bundle popped up, I think, on Friday. This is very, very new. It does not run very long. So I do want to point out that you can get this bundle and actually do some good, make a difference. Even if it's only, $5 of a difference. But this bundle does run through June 16th. And I was blown away. I mean, honestly, I was completely blown away at what's included in this. I'll give you a great example. If you just went and got Oxenfree, which is a really fun game. I have played Oxenfree. It's a story. It's like an adventure game, but really, really clever. Really enjoyed it. Just that game alone, just that one title is $9.99 normally on itch. Same goes for Blades in the Dark. Blades in the Dark, if you wanted to get that PDF, say over at Drive-Thru RPG or over on itch, I think it's about the same. I think it's like $12.99. So for $5, you're getting all of this stuff. Unbelievable. It's I'm giving you the itch.io web address, but if you are interested in checking this out and following the link, go to thegaminggang.com. I've got a news piece on it. I've got the link that's going to take you directly to it. So if you want, go that way. Or I'm pretty sure it's pretty easy to find on itch, but you never know. Itch tends to be constantly changing, constantly evolving as far as what's on the front page. All right, moving right along. Let's get back into some more tabletop gaming news because MonkeyBlood Design and Publishing has a new Kickstarter. It launched on Friday. It's a short Kickstarter. It's for a source book for the Midderlands setting, the OSR role-playing game setting. And I've got the dope on Folk Magic of the Haven Isles. Folk Magic of the Haven Isles is a role-playing supplement for old-school role-playing games. Its focus is on magicians, wizards, and magic users. The book is written for swords and wizardry, and therefore it can be used in all retro clones and old-school role-playing games with little or no work. But I don't have or play any old-school role-playing games. Is this still useful to me? Well, absolutely. It's intended for any fantasy role-playing games to inspire and provide ideas for players and game masters alike. If you know what hit dice and saving throws are, you'll easily be able to understand and adapt most of the rules-related content in this book. If you know anything about the Midderlands fantasy setting, and if you don't, check out my reviews. It is excellent, really, really well done, really fun and interesting and unique. But if you don't know anything about it and you don't want to, go check out my reviews. You'll see information within this book that makes it directly usable with the Midderlands setting. It's 100% compatible. If you don't know anything about the Midderlands and not interested in that setting, don't worry. You don't need to know anything. There's actually a glossary that explains what anything unfamiliar, mainly geographical, words and terms are. In your own setting, you can just swap out place names. This book includes 14 magic user subclasses, 16 magic user backgrounds, 7 tomes, 16 magical spells such as Gloom Ray, Transmute Lead into Gold, Enforce Queuing, and more, usable in any old school game. Also includes 4 oddities of the Haven Isles, unusual objects, flora, and fauna, such as the Mandrake and the Wizard Hole. I believe we are getting a peek at the Mandrake. It's one of the images that's being shared right now. So as I mentioned, this Kickstarter did launch on Friday. The project is already over 100% funded. You can reserve a copy of Folk Magic of the Haven Isles in hardcover, which includes a PDF, for a $26 pledge. There's the Mandrake. Or you can just simply get the PDF for an $11 pledge through June 19th. Expected delivery of both formats is this August. So very quick turnaround on this book. Like I said, I think from what I understand, I believe this is a 60-page book. So it's not a huge book, which is kind of strange. Hardcover 60-page book? I don't know. And I believe it is going to be digest sized, just like the other Midderlands books happen to be. But like I said, the Midderlands are a lot of fun. Glenn Seal has done some wonderful work. The illustrations are very cool and just very clever ideas. Just very, very clever ideas. All right. So a Grade A is talking about a movie set during the Pugachev Rebellion, the Peasants' War, and it's good. La Tempesta. Actually, I was going to say, if people are interested in Catherine the Great, which there has been a lot more interest in Catherine the Great over the past, I'd say, decade or so, maybe 20 years. There is a movie, I think it came out, it was this year, pretty sure it was this year, on HBO, with Helen Mirren as Catherine the Great, older, of course, and that was much more historically accurate than the Great is. But like I said, the Great is very entertaining. I'm very entertained by it. All right, final news piece. There is another free stay-at-home, play-at-home download for Dungeons & Dragons. It is available from Wizards of the Coast. Here's the dope on Parnast Under Siege. Despite the adventurer's best efforts, more creatures joined under Bad Fool's banner. Damn you, Bad Fool! We keep fighting you! No longer content to simply attack caravans or isolated homesteads, the hill giant warband descends upon Parnast at the head of a great force of humanoids. Seer warns the adventurers directly now, in time to rally the town and prepare defenses, but a heroic effort is required to break the siege. D&D Adventurers League Parnast Under Siege is a 4-hour adventure for 1st through 4th level characters. You can download the 46-page PDF adventure from our friends over at I shouldn't say Drive-Thru. It's over at Dungeon Masters Guild. Almost said, I started to say Drive-Thru. It's not Drive-Thru. It's over at Dungeon Masters Guild. And it is available for free through June 11th. So all of these Adventurers League adventures that have been coming out, they've been out for a while, but they've been available for free for the past few weeks. A lot of them have been part of this Bad Fruel storyline. So after all those adventures, the heroes still can't stop the hill giant from attacking the town. It's like, you guys suck. Anyway, I do want to mention that, of course, the Gaming Gang and thus the Daily Dope happen to be affiliates of the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to head over to, say, Dungeon Masters Guild or Drive-Thru RPG or even Wargames Vault, by all means, please stop by at thegaminggang.com. First, click on one of our banners, and that way, if you do make a purchase, I get a little portion of that sale, and all those little portions do go a long way to keeping things around, like the Gaming Gang. KC Board Gamers has popped into chat. Good to see you, KC. Welcome aboard. So that is it for the news tonight. Well, we got a little bit of time. So I had some stuff show up. So as I mentioned already, I got a big box from GMT, so I was like, yeah. And it's interesting because usually, now I might be wrong, I don't know, but usually I receive like my review copies of stuff from GMT Games long after the people who've purchased the game receive it, and that's fine. I have no issue with that at all. It seems like this time around, I think I got it in the same wave as the backers, the P500 backers, because I think Imperial Struggle just had come out. So then again, I might be crazy. I don't know. So what else do we have? Where did I put some of this stuff? I got things stacked up. I've been messing around with things here in the Duct Tape Studios, which I guess I should probably change the name of it because I really don't have any duct tape anymore holding anything together. So, but I did get Men of Iron. So this is the, let's get rid of some of that glare. This is the Men of Iron Battles. It's a tri-pack. So it has Men of Iron, Infidel, and Blood and Roses. So this is all, these are kind of medieval. I remember Infidel. I reviewed Infidel. Gosh, I think I was still lived in Arizona at the time when I did a review of that. So this came, Labyrinth, the Forever Word 2015 to question mark. The expansion for Labyrinth. Sorry about all the glare from the plastic here, but so this arrived. So it's got 2 decks of cards, a rule book. Looks like we've got a new kind of flowchart sheet on the back, or it's a player aid on the back. So that's interesting. And another expansion for Wing Leader. This is Origins, 1936 to 1942. So these were the goodies that showed up out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting these at all. So I was like, yes. Cracked it open and I saw Imperial Struggle. I was like, yeah. I am such a dork. Anyway, also this weekend, I finished reading through The Enemy Within, the first book for The Enemy. The Enemy in Shadows, I should say, is what it's called. It's the first part of the Enemy Within campaign, the director's cut from Cubicle 7. And I finished reading both the core book and the companion. And I was going to shoot a video, but I had already ordered the new microphone. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to hold off on doing any of the standalone stuff until I get this mic. Because, I don't know. Like I said, my voice, I don't have a great voice for like radio. That's why that's, and to me, it drives me nuts. I mean, some people probably sit there and they're like, oh, I don't really even, I don't even notice it. And it's like, to me, it's like, it's like stabbing you in the head. But I think this new microphone is going to be a game changer as far as that goes. Because I have seen videos talking about how this microphone is very good for people who have a lot of syllabus in their, or syllabants, I forget how it's pronounced, in their voices. So very cool. So a Great A is asking, what day is the last for this week's Daily Dope? Thursdays. Yeah, Monday through Thursday, 500. Episode 500 is Thursday. So yeah, so this is 97, 98, 99, 500 on Thursday. So yes. So definitely check that out. So I have to ask if Dan is still hanging around. I'm not sure if Dan had to pop out and I missed it. But if Dan from No Enemies here is still hanging around and he said, oh, damn it, you made me buy Imperial Struggle. I'm curious if you really did do that while I was doing the show, is it still, did it only charge you $39? Because I know the Madman said the P500 price of $39 was still showing up. So I'm just kind of curious. I don't know. Because, I mean, I'm telling you, if you could get Imperial Struggle for $39 right now, it is a smoking deal. Smoking. Anyway, we'll have some fun on Thursday's show. It's good. Like anything else. I'm not going to be all serious about it. I am going to shoot the little bit of, well, I guess I shouldn't say little bit. I'm sure it'll probably maybe be about 10 minutes long. My behind the scenes look at the studio. I'm going to shoot that probably on my iPhone and play that and actually be talking over it. So if somebody asks me a question while that video's, streaming, then I can answer it. So it will not just be a video of me walking around talking. So anyway, but yeah, I'll kind of show that off. Like I said, people are going to go, oh my God, really? Seriously, man? Seriously. Flaming Herons popped in, made it just in time for the end of the stream. Yes, you did. You did. All right. Anyway, hopefully the audio was okay, even though we're only going to have a couple more shows with this mic. Maybe one shows up early enough on Wednesday to get it all set up. But, and hopefully the color balance of the video looks much more natural now, because it was looking, like I said, there was just a lot of yellow in it before. So I screwed around with some what are known as LUTs. So you can kind of color grade video and that. So I actually did some color grading for the Panasonic. I still have to do some color grading for the, actually it's more color correction than anything else. It's not really color grading, but I have to do that for the A6000 also for the Sony camera. All right. So Flaming Hero said, I'll make sure I'm there for 500 for episode 500. Yes. Like I said, we'll have some fun. I don't know if there'll be some giveaways or anything. I don't know yet. If there are, obviously they'd probably be PDFs. I have to go take a look to see what I've got in the old supply at Drive-Thru RPG, I guess we'll say. So a Grade A says Dan broke the GMT website. I can't connect to it. Well, let me see. Let me take a look. Let's see if I can connect. Yeah, I got in. GMTgames.com. Yeah, I'm in. So, all right. Yeah, you know how Dan is. Dan, it's like a bull in a china shop. He's just smashing everything around. Just going like, I'm going to order my game. All right. Anyway, that's it for tonight's show. As I like to always point out, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And of course, if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that little notification bell, because it will not only let you know when the Daily Dope streams live, Monday through Thursday nights, right here on YouTube. It'll also let you know when I upload any of my standalone videos. Plus, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. So if you hung out in chat watching live, thank you very much. I know sometimes we have some lurkers who watch live. They don't get into chat. That's okay. Howdy. I definitely appreciate you watching the show, even if you're, a little scared to say hello. It's all right. But of course, if you happen to watch after the fact, maybe even on Memorex, I certainly appreciate that just as much. So I will be back tomorrow. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Monday night / Tuesday morning. And of course, during this time of pandemic, I like to close the show by letting everybody know and asking them to please be smart and stay safe. Oh, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel by clicking right here. And of course, if you want to catch up on past episodes of The Daily Dope, check out this playlist. And if you'd like to see what YouTube's recommending you take a peek at from the channel, just give a click right over here. Of course, I'm Jeff McAleer, and once again, thank you very much for watching.